Hello all and welcome back to Dating Woes Story Time with niambithegreat, me. So this is episode 5. I can't believe it's already episode 5 in my podcast series. But this one is I titled it Bubba Gump Shrimp. It's a very funny story. I'm gonna try not to laugh throughout the story. This one shouldn't be too long because it didn't last too long, but it's just the simple fact of everything that happened with it and what transpired in the situation was kind of hilarious to me. So I decided to do this one as episode 5. I met this guy. I'm gonna call him T right now. Well, actually, I should call him TT because his initials are TT. So I'm gonna call him TT. I met this guy. He was an educator as well, so sort of like the first guy. He was a teacher. He teach. He's not correct English. He taught. I think it was 5th grade science. I know it was elementary school, so I think it was 5th grade science. I think it was like 4th and 5th grade science. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I can't remember what the particular subject was because, like I said, we only talked for like a few days. Maybe I think it was like a week or two. We conversed before we met each other. I met him as well on online dating. If I'm not mistaken, I think I met him on Tinder too. He looked okay. He wasn't like ugly or anything, but I like the fact that he was college educated and he was a teacher. So those two things, you can't be a teacher without, going to college. So I knew he wasn't lying about his education. And he seemed pretty cool. He said he played video games. And he seemed like he had a head on his shoulders. He seemed financially stable, so he had a lot of cool things going for himself. And I met him while I was out here in California. I met him my second year being here in 2018. I actually met him in the beginning of 2018, which was kind of weird. He wished me Happy New Year and everything. And he was like, hey, I want to take you out one day. Let's go out to eat or something. And I was like, sure. At the time I was staying on the other side of LA. I was staying over in South Central LA, actually. It was where I live near USC. And I was like, hey, just let me know where you want to eat. And he suggested Santa Monica. And I was like, well, I like going to Santa Monica. Santa Monica's cool. I stayed not far from the Expo Line train. And I would hop on that train a lot or ride my bike to Santa Monica a lot because I was so close to that line. So I was like, sure, that's no problem. I can definitely meet you somewhere in Santa Monica. What time did you want to meet up? So he suggested meeting up around 7. This was I think a Wednesday or Thursday. So it was during the week. So it wasn't too late per se. So I was like, yeah, I can hop on the train, no problem. And I was like, if you want, you can meet me on your line and I can tell you what car I'm in and we can meet up with each other. And he was like, sure, let's do that. So, and this is actually the second time we met. The first time we met up for coffee or something, and we had a pretty cool conversation. So I was like, okay, he's not crazy or anything, so I can definitely hang out with him for the second time. So I walked to the train station from my house because it was really a block away from the train station at that time. So I walked to the train station, hopped on it because driving to Santa Monica, I wasn't trying to pay $30 to park. And I was like, it was something simple, and then plus the traffic to get out there was ridiculous around 7. So I was like, I don't want to even have to worry about that. I can hop on this train real quick and relax while I'm on the train headed to where he is because his stop was not too far from the train either. So it was very convenient for both of us to hop on there. So I get on the train and I sit at the car, and you know how any train in New York, you're gonna have characters and people are gonna be doing all the kind of crazy things and stuff. So this guy, when I got on the train, he was not attractive at all whatsoever, and he saw me and he saw I was by myself at first. So of course he's gonna try to talk to me, and I just put my headphones in because I was ignoring him. And I was like, yeah, I'm good, I'm sorry, thank you. He gave me a compliment, and I always will say thank you if you compliment me, say I look nice or something. I'll say thank you, I appreciate that. And if they say something else, I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, I have a boyfriend or something. I'll say usually that doesn't get them to try to ask for more things. Some people will be bold enough to be like, well, he ain't here or something like that. Then that's when I have to be like, well, it's a girl or something, or just try to throw them off. I would say I'm a lesbian or something, just to throw them off or whatever. Sometimes you got to do that. This guy, he was kind of one of those people, and I was like, yeah, I'm just not that interested, I'm sorry. Like right now, I'm not focused or whatever. So I ended up telling him, and so he sat down on the opposite side of the train where I was, and then he decided to pull up a CeeLo Green song, and it was like the F You song, and I. And he started playing the unedited version, and he was like, F you, and he started singing it, and I was like, oh gosh. So I texted the guy, T, and I was like, hey, like, you wouldn't believe what just happened to me. And he was like, what? And I told him, and he was just laughing about it. So it was like a very comical moment, you know, and everything. So that happened, and we had a good time. We went to Bubba Gump Shrimp. Bubba Gump Shrimp, you know, is like a family dining restaurant. It's not very expensive. I would say it's like along the same prices as like Red Lobster, basically, because they have a lot of kitty type items, and they have a lot of non-alcoholic drinks and stuff. It's right off of the pier, so it's like right near the water. You can see it if you get a particular table. But like I said, it's a family dining restaurant because it's no white tablecloths or anything. You could wear jeans, hoodies, whatever inside of it. It's not a dress code or anything. Not any restrictions. And they sell a lot of gear from like the bubblegum theme. You know, I don't know if a lot of people know this or not, but that is not a real place in Alabama. Just FYI. Like on Forrest Gump, that's not a real city. But, you know, I digress. So after that, we went and walked around the pier. You know, it's nighttime. It was kind of cold a little bit with the water coming off of the pier. In the air, not water, but the air coming off the pier with the wind and everything. So you can see stars out there. It was a really cool, kind of romantic kind of thing. But, you know, he was, I guess, trying to be a little romantic in a sense, and I was just like, yeah, I'm kind of good on that. You know, I was like, I'll give you a hug, but I'm not trying to kiss you or anything. So he understood. He was like, yeah, I get it. I remember you telling me that you're not really trying to get with anybody right now. This is that. And I was like, yeah, I'm not right now. I'm like focused on me, you know, just trying to see about friendship, and then from friendship I'll move on to something else. And he was like, you know, that's fine. That's great. You know, we can do that. You know, we can continue on talking to them because, you know, I'm attracted to you and you're really cool. And I was like, okay, great. You know, we can continue on this. There's no problem. So we said we're going to play like some video games or something. He had some kind of game that he was playing he wanted to tell me about. And I was like, all right, cool. We can do that later on or something. He was like, you could come over. And I was like, yeah, I'll probably come over like in about a few weeks or so. Let me get to know you a little bit better before like we start doing that. And he was like, okay, that's fine. Yeah, I can bring the game, you know, to like a coffee shop or something. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And he's like, you know, there's a game house over there in Glendale. You know, we can go play there too. And I'm like, okay, that sounds fun. I would love to go play. Like, I love games. Games are like some of my favorite things to do. So they think nothing of it. I would say we kept talking for a few weeks. Just brief conversations, text messaging, asking me how I'm doing, how's work, same thing with him, going back and forth. And then he went out of town because he was from the Bay Area, and he was like, when I come back, I want to hang out with you and stuff. And I'm like, sure. But this time I was kind of like really not feeling him. Like, he was cool, but he was like turning into like, I don't know, I wouldn't say aggressive or anything, but he was just like kind of turning me off because I could tell that he wanted more than what I was trying to give him. So I was just like, hey, you know, I really just want to be friends. Because, you know, sometimes you got to be really stern with people because people will just, like, assume that you might want to talk to them or they might want to try to get with you. So you have to be like, hey, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm good and everything. So in a text conversation, and I'm going to post this too on the video so you can see it. But he was like, hey, I'm headed back home. I just drove back from the Bay. And I was like, how was the drive? He was like, cool, it was smooth. He was like, if you ever trust me enough to get in my car, then, you know, we can roll up there next time. And I was like, that comes with trust. You know, I don't know if I told you this, but I'm celibate, so I'm not looking for anything. I hope you understand. And then he was like, yeah, I'm celibate too. And I was like, cool, we're on the same page. Then he was like, we're not on the same page. If I wasn't looking for anything, then why would I take you to that expensive restaurant? Why would you let me if you weren't looking for anything? Doing things like that is how women get disrespected. You should think about that while you're being celibate. And I was like, wow. I was like, that conversation went left real quick. And I was like, what? So he goes from saying I'm celibate too to say that we're not on the same page. And he's not looking for anything. And then he tells me that he took me to this expensive restaurant. So I guess he assumed that I was going to put out for some Bubba Gump Shrimp or something. And then he said that's how women get disrespected, because they go out to eat with people and they don't have any intentions. And I'm like, we already had this conversation before I went there. I was just reiterating that I'm not trying to get with you and I'm celibate. And you even agreed and said you're celibate too. And I was like, this doesn't make any sense. I was like, you got the wrong person in the wrong tone, sir. I was like, first of all, Bubba Gump Shrimp is not an expensive restaurant. And he was like, I'm not the one tricking people. I was like, it's casual dining. I'm like, second, when I spoke to you on the phone, I told you I wasn't looking for anything. He was like, more money than someone who is not interested deserves. And then I was like, third, my profile says I'm not looking for anything. And he was like, and I didn't see you pulling out anything to pay either. And I was like, at no point did I lead you on. And I was like, I was prepared to pay. And he was like, it's cool, stop texting me. And I was just like, what? I was like, I can see why you single. I was like, this is so crazy. Like, literally the conversation went completely left. And I'm just like, what in the world is this? I was like you literally said you were celibate. And then you go from being celibate to like calling me out, trying to say that I used you for Bubba Gump Shrimp. I'm like, dude, I have a job. Bubba Gump Shrimp is like $30 for a meal. I'm like, dude, I ate the lobster for my birthday. That was like almost $300 for a freaking like 2-pound lobster with drinks and stuff. I'm like, really? I'm like, dude, I got money. Like, I go eat where I want to. I go travel to Paris and stuff. I'm like, dude, like, you really gonna sit there and try to say like Bubba Gump Shrimp was an expensive restaurant? I'm like, Bubba Gump Shrimp is a family dining restaurant. It's like some of the items on there is cheaper than Red Lobster. I was like, really? I was like, that was crazy. But that was like my first time ever having someone call me out on an expensive restaurant aka Bubba Gump Shrimp and everything. But yeah, let's say I did block him after that and made sure that I did not have any contact with him after that, because obviously he was really on something. He was really on one, and I'm just like glad that I did not go hang out with you in your house, because no telling what would have happened if I would have did that. But yeah, that's a Bubba Gump Shrimp date. But I would say thank you so much for listening to episode number 5. Definitely follow me on Instagram, niambithegreat. You can go to my website, niambithegreatdating. Hit me up on Facebook. Follow the page, Dating Woes. And definitely hit me up. Give me some feedback. I want to know if you like these stories. I have a lot more coming. So definitely give me some great feedback. Let me know if you like it or you hate it. You know, I'm always open for discussion. Thank you guys, and you'll have a blessed day. Peace.